Hey there, welcome back guys. In this video, we'll see the remaining part of tuple. So making a new example, g.py. Here we have this tuple. Here at index 2, we have a list inside tuple. So what's the motive here? We have seen that tuple is immutable, that is, we can't change the value of any element of tuple. But the list is mutable, and we can change the value of any element of the list. Our value at index 2 is a list, so let's change the first element of this list. So how do we get to the first element of the list? We have here two-dimensional data. So firstly, we'll access our list and then the first element of the list. So list is at index 2, so we'll write x of 2. This is our list. And then how do we fetch the first element of any list? We will again use indexing, that is square brackets 0. So we have x of 2 of 0. Okay. And we'll assign a new value to it, let's say 300. And print x. So here 100 is replaced by 300. Let's see running g.py. See, our tuple is updated. Let's understand it better by the help of object diagram. Okay, so here we have variable x of class tuple. The length of x is 4, so we have indices 0, 1, 2 and 3. The object at index 0 is int object with value 12. The object at index 1 is int object with value 43. The object at index 3 is again int object with value 90. And the object at index 2 is a list object with length 2. So the indices will be 0 and 1. The value at index 0 of this list is 100 and that of index 1 is 200. Both are int objects, okay? So the tuple is simply accessed by calling x, and if we want to access the elements of tuple, then 12 is accessed by x of 0, 43 is accessed by x of 1, this list is accessed by x of 2, and 90 is accessed by x of 3. In our code, we want to access 100 and 100 is one of the elements of list. We know that it is at index 0 and we also know how to access any element of list. We write name of the list and within square brackets we specify index of the required variable. So here our list is x of 2. So for time being, let's say it's y. So the element at index 0 will be y of 0 and that at index 1 is y of 1. Now we got the index of 100, so let's rename back y as x of 2. So 100 will be now x of 2 of 0 and 200 will be x of 2 of 1. So x of 2 of 0 is equal to 100. And we have to change the value of x of 2 of 0 to 300. So when we change its value, only the reference of 100 is removed from the list. This object will still be in the memory and a new int object with value 300 is now pointing to x of 2 of 0. And this is no more x of 2 of 0, okay? This int object with value 100 will still be in the memory until the garbage collector removes it. And now x of 2 of 0 is equal to 300. So this was the object diagram of our code. I hope you got it. Now making a new example, h.py. Here we will see tuple addition. Here we have two tuples, x is equal to 1, 2, 3 and y is equal to 4, 5, 6. We introduce a new variable z equal to x plus y and we will print x, y and z and print id of x id of y and id of z. Now running h.py. Okay, so this is straightforward. We have x, y and z. Three different variables with three different IDs. Nothing complicated. Okay. Now let's see new example i.py. Here we have a tuple and a list. So our tuple is x is equal to 12, 34, 54 and our list is y is equal to, let's say, 1, 2 and 3. Let's make a variable z equal to x plus y. Here we are adding tuple and list. In the last lecture we saw that one of the properties of tuple was we can't add tuple to list. So let's see is that true or not. Running i.py. See, here we are getting type error and the message is can only concatenate tuple to tuple, not list. Okay, so this is one of the properties of tuple. So we cannot add a list to tuple. Simple. Okay. Now let's see slicing in tuple. Making new example j.py. We have this tuple. Suppose we have to print wrong statement from this tuple. So we'll use the slice operator. So our wrong string is at index 3 and statement is at index 4. So we have to choose indexing from 3 to 5. That is, our start index will be 3 and the end index will be 5 because end index is exclusive. Okay. So let's print x of 3:5. Now running j.py. See, we are getting wrong and statement. Okay. We have seen different combinations of start index, end index and step in string section. So let's see some of them here. First of all, let's see for start index -1. Comment this and print x of -1. This will give us tuple starting from index -1 up to the end of the list, and -1 is the last index. So we'll get the last element of tuple. Okay, let's see. Running j.py. See, we are getting statement. This can also be seen as just indexing. -1 index represents last element and that's what we are getting. Okay. Now how can we print the tuple in reverse? To do this, we have to specify the step as -1. And we need the whole tuple, so we don't specify any start index or end index. Okay. So print x of ::(-1). Okay. And running j.py. See, we are getting the tuple in reverse form. Okay. We have seen the slicing in detail in the string part. It is exactly the same here. So I'm not going into its depth. If you have doubts in this, kindly refer to these videos. Now making new example k.py. In tuple, we have the index method. Index method takes a value as the argument and it returns the index of that value from the tuple. So let's see. Suppose we have this tuple x is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4 and print x dot index 2. Here 2 is at index 1, so we should get 1. Okay. Running k.py. See, the index of 2 is 1. Okay. Now comment this and print x dot index 100. So we don't have 100 in our list. So let's see what we'll get. Running k.py. Okay, we are getting value error. Tuple.index x not in tuple. So we are getting value error because the value given by us is wrong. Okay. Now making new example l.py. Here we have this tuple x is equal to 1, 2, 3, and we will assign a comma b comma c equal to x and print a, print b, print c. Running l.py, notice what we are getting. This code actually assigns the individual value of tuple to each variable. This is also a popular way to initialize multiple variables in a single line. Now making a new example, m.py. In the list data type, we saw the method sort, which sorts the list in ascending order. But we don't have such methods in other iterables. For all the iterable data types, we have a function sorted, which will sort the iterable in ascending order. Okay, so let's see. Suppose we have this tuple sorted x. This method returns the iterable in ascending order, so we'll hold it in a variable z is equal to, and we'll print z. Let's run this. Look, our tuple is sorted in ascending order. Okay. Here we can also pass a keyword argument reverse equal to true to get the tuple in descending order. Let's see, comment this. Sorted x comma reverse equal to true, and running m.py. See, we are getting the tuple in descending order. Okay. We can also find the maximum and minimum values from a tuple. We have two functions, max and min, and we can use these two functions to find out the maximum and minimum values from any iterable. So let's see. New example, n.py. We have this tuple and print min x, print max x. Here our smallest value is 28 and the largest value is 300. So let's see, running n.py. Look, we are getting the desired output. Okay. So let's recap the properties of tuple. Tuple is immutable. Tuple can store heterogeneous records. Tuple supports slicing. Tuple can be concatenated with tuple. Tuple can't be added to list. Tuple can be sorted using the function sorted. And we can find maximum and minimum values from a tuple. Okay. So that was all for tuple. We'll see another data type in the next lecture. So see you there. Bye bye.